Oh, hi. What's up, IDP Army? It's Jordan Rays at 50 Shades of Drunk. I am in Detroit, Michigan right now on vacation. That's why the studio is different. That's why I'm wearing a collared shirt. And that may be why the connection is dog shit. So I apologize, but I did not want to leave y'all hanging. So if you're in the comments, you have some questions about who to start this week, I would love to answer them. As far as the rankings, go check out idparmy.com. My rankings have been hit or miss this year, so I'm gonna give you all the best advice I can. So stick around. Hopefully, we have a good show and the connection doesn't drive me so insane that I jump out the window. This is insanity. My computer is the internet here is so bad, y'all. Like I feel like I'm in like Windows 98 in the year 1999 right now. Like I'm the. Mm. Can y'all hear me? This is a disaster. Okay, if you can hear me, I'll just talk. Like I said, on my back end, everything is fucked right now. Like my screen's frozen. I can't push any buttons. It's still running like the intro video, which I has been done for 2 minutes. So work with me here, y'all. I'm gonna do my best. So we got questions here in the and I can't pull the questions onto the screen either because my mouse isn't working. So I'm gonna do my best, try and keep up with everybody. Up a little farther. Andy, I think it was, asked about Melvin Ingram tonight or Ogba. I don't think you can go wrong with either. I think Ogba is going to be the prudent play, though. I don't think you can go wrong with either. It's tough if you have both of them because I would want to put them both out there. Joe Burrow gets sacked a lot, and this Miami defense is just as good as their offense, and their offense is pretty dang good. So hopefully that gives you some insights into what I'm thinking. I just really like Emmanuel Ogba because it's slow and steady. You know what you're going to get. If you want to catch a big game, I might go Ingram. So let's see. We got here some other questions. Thoughts on Trey Hendrickson versus Miami tonight? Yeah, I mean, I'm still on Trey Hendrickson as well. I said something. I had Mace on the waiver wire shows last week, and we talked a little bit about just how you look at players and how they score. Trey Hendrickson, even though he doesn't get the snaps, that everybody wants, he gets the points that everybody wants. And he's a good player. I know it took a little while for the PFF grades to catch up and for all the other people to decide that he was good enough. But if you've been watching this channel, we've been, for lack of a better word, on his dick for like 2 years. So all good, says Shaz. Appreciate it. Can you reboot? No, it's the internet. I'm at this ritzy hotel, and ritzy hotel. Of course, the free internet sucks. So, but for like $15 a day, I can get better internet. And for $25 a day, I can get even better internet. So I'm doing what I can, y'all. Um, as long as you're getting my voice through, though, I mean, I'm happy to sit here and answer your questions. Can you reboot? No, I'm sorry, Albert. This can't. Um, somebody dropped Cody Barton, and I'm just reading these from the chat because I can't pull them onto the screen. Sorry. Someone dropped Cody Barton for Zaire Franklin. Already have Bobby Wagner, Levante David. Oh, wow. Now, y'all should see what I'm working with back here. Jacob Phillips and Zaven Collins. Should I drop anyone to pick up Cody Barton? That's a good question. Barton is probably worth rostering, but I mean, you have some good guys on your team right now. You have Bobby Wagner, you have Levante David, you have Zaven Collins. You don't have to go get every new shiny toy that's on the waiver wire. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a solid team, you're winning games, you feel good about your depth. I wouldn't drop everything, you know what I mean, to just try and go get Cody Barton because he's available. So, I mean, hopefully that, yeah. So I wouldn't drop any of those guys to go pick up Cody Barton. All right, we got Anthony Ballister in here. What's up? We got Ken Vasquez in here. We got Albert. We got OJ, Derek Tickle, Lunch Table Legend. I'll give you all shout outs since I can't pull you up on screen. How do you feel about Wise, DE for New England? Yeah, Mace brought up some good points on Monday on the waiver wire show. I mean, you guys know me. I mean, I have my biases, and I don't pretend I don't. So I'm very biased against the Patriots. So I don't pay a lot of attention to the Patriots players. I don't put a lot of them on my teams. But like I said, Mace pointed out, he has been very productive this year. He has 4 sacks, I think, of what his total is, which is like most in the league or tied with most in the league, or maybe half behind. So those are numbers you can't ignore. So I think he's, somebody we need to be. I'm doing my part to try to become more hip to the vibe, if that makes sense. So shout out to Mace for putting me on him. And I think if you need defensive end help, he's a guy you could look at. Should I drop Kyle Hamilton, or do you think he'll break out? Just drop him, move on. He'll be good next year or later this year, and you can pick him back up. Should I drop Brandon Jones because he's questionable for Thursday Night Football or for Julian Love? I would wait up until, you know what I mean? I guess we'll get the injury reports in like an hour. So if he is not going to be out, yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that move. Nobody's going to run out there to pick him up if he doesn't play tonight because he's not going to have a score after this week. So I'm okay with that. I can't even scroll up, guys. So I got to keep up with these questions. All right, my man. Thank you. Yeah, sure thing. Infinite possibilities. Happy to be here. Albert S says Diablo or Nwosu this week in a big play league. Ooh, that's tough. I don't trust Nwosu. You know what I mean? In a big play league, I don't know what your big plays are or how they're scored. You know what I mean? So that's a little bit it's a little tough to answer. So I'd probably go Diablo. What's goody, says Anthony. Yo, what it do? I would maybe drop Zaven for Cody Barton. That's what Derek here is saying in the comments. Again, you could. But I like Zaven Collins right now. I like kind of his role that he has with the Birds, the Cardinals. You know what I'm saying? So Marco S., good evening. Got Diablo McKinney, Xavier Woods as DBs. Should I drop anyone to pick up Javon Holland? Ooh, that's interesting. I like Holland. I like Brandon as well, Brandon Jones. That's going to be up to you, my guy. I mean, if you want to get on some of that drippy Miami, it's week 4. It's going to be 10 more days for you to see him play. You might as well throw him on your team now if you're thinking about it. So I don't hate it. I feel a little negligent telling you to do or not to drop those guys because I put them all in a very similar tier. So it's probably just going to come down to who do you like the most, who do you trust the most personally. Half PPR dynasty, yeah, that doesn't really affect the defensive side of things over much. Lunch Table Legend says Eric Kendricks or Harrison Smith rest of season. Wow. Give me Harrison Smith. I like Eric Kendricks, but even though Jordan Hicks is getting less snaps, he seems to be a busy boy. They're both amazing players. This is not any way, shape, or form an indictment on Eric Kendricks. I just like Harrison Smith a lot. I like the safety position in football a lot. So, and he's an elite top end guy. Many years of his career. Kendricks has been very good as well. Top end guy the last couple of years. But give me Harrison Smith. Holy shit. Albert here says 15 points for an interception, bonus for 2 sacks. Okay, well, if that's the case, I might go Nwosu because, I mean, you know, I doubt Diablo even has 2 sacks in his repertoire, but Nwosu at least is an edge rusher, so theoretically he should have that in his repertoire. You know, if Uncle Pete doesn't play him 10 snaps or something goofy. Is Perryman back regarding Diablo, says Derek Tickle? That's a good question. I haven't seen anything about that. I just haven't. I'm just be honest. I haven't. I'm honestly kind of weirded out by the fact that the Raiders are 0-3 right now. Everyone's like, oh, weird year. I mean, it's just, even when the Raiders were not good, because everybody thinks they're good now, they could win games. You know what I mean? To be 0-3, that's not, it's a little weird to me. Anyway, prayers up to Myles Garrett as well. I'm sure you all saw he was in a single car accident. Apparently, he swerved to miss an animal. Don't recommend that. If it was a puppy or a kitten, yeah, that's fine. But if you're swerving to miss like a rabbit or a raccoon, my guy, we need to reprioritize your life. Yeah, I definitely understand if you're swerving to miss puppies and kittens. I would do the same. But prayers up to him. Apparently, he was not overly injured. His car looked wrecked, but shoulder sprain, some lacerations, cuts, and then he had one other, like a bicep sprain. But I mean, that's not going to affect over much. His lower part of his body is still intact. I mean, it's traumatic being in an accident, though, too. I would just go ahead and say I would not anticipate he actually plays this weekend. People are acting like he might. And if he does, I mean, that's all they're going to talk about what a story it is. But, I mean, just take the week off, man. It's just the Browns. Chris Elliott says, Petrie or Brisker, thanks. Man, that's tough. Petrie blew up last week, and he was on my bench. So, wow, my computer is really going through some things. But I'm probably going to stick it out with Brisker for now. Again, that's not an indictment on Petrie. That's just, either or. I'll go with Brisker for now. That could quickly change. It's awesome that both these guys are starting the year out and in a good way for IDP. We had some safeties last year that really didn't do a whole lot. When you have Trevon Moehrig and who else came out last year? That's the thing. Like, I can't even remember because they didn't make that big of an impact last year. The safety class last year was kind of weak. But this year you got guys that are definitely making a difference. Andy Kugach, sorry if I'm butchering your name, my guy. Literally, y'all, my screen is still showing the intro video 13 minutes in. It's almost done. Wild stuff. I was disappointed with Micah Parsons' performance. Yeah, so was everybody. I mean, I got on this show on Monday morning, and I was like, Micah Parsons is God. He's going to get 3 sacks. He's going to get a forced fumble. He didn't do anything. I mean, I'm sure his pressure numbers were decent. Always are. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm losing track of where we are, and I'm missing questions because I'm bitching about Micah Parsons. Okay, I can see. Okay, practice yesterday. I'm assuming you're talking about Perryman. Yeah. I mean, he could be coming back. Tyreek Ellis, what's up, Tyreek? Shout out to Tyreek. He's the one who put us all on to Marcus Williams. I mean, he put me on Marcus Williams. So had another good game this last week. Not the biggest one he's had, but still going good. But he says Robert Quinn or Hendrickson. I think I have Robert Quinn hired this week. I can't pull up my rankings right now just because I do not know what my computer will do if I try to open up another tab. Like I said, we're dealing with some very strange things here in Detroit. But we will prevail. We will persevere. The IDP Army doesn't quit. We don't give up. We don't settle. We just go hard. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Thoughts on Jesse Bates? He just hasn't been the same guy. Yeah, and I mean, that's probably part and parcel with a lot of things with the Bengals. This team doesn't look the same. It feels the same, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think they've changed their play style too much, but maybe this is, and I hate to be that guy, maybe the league's figured them out. The most generic talking point for a football team that's not doing good, but maybe. Okay, you were the first to throw out Luvu. I was just about to mention that you liked him. I've been winning ever since. This is where the real IDP information is that a GM could use. Hey, I can't even see your name because of the way this scroll bar is fucked up, but I really appreciate that. I have hits, I have misses too, but so does everybody. I mean, it's not about, being the amazing all the time. It's about being consistent. I mean, shit, I almost didn't start this live stream up because my computer's messed up, but there's like 20, 30 people in here. Y'all care. I owe it to you to continue to show up, even if my takes are terrible, because apparently you want to hear them. And hopefully, I'm, what do they say? If you're a fantasy analyst who's 55%, he's good. I hope I'm 55%. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm hitting 55% on most of these. I don't know. Somebody run the numbers. Okay, real quick, just to tell y'all, I'm in Detroit, Michigan right now. I'm just started working for the Survey Research Institute. So your man's going to get the spreadsheets out. Now, I'm not going to turn to a spreadsheet bro, but I'm definitely going to use my newfound skills and powers to point out the frailties of many of the data points that are used in fantasy. One thing we've talked about a lot is the quality of data. There's so many people in fantasy football world that put out stuff, and it's just like people love it. It's like, this is so amazing, blah blah blah. But is it? Like, and I've talked to a few people here about that, and they said, oh yeah, 17 game sample size. They said that's really, really. And I was like, telling them how dogmatic people seem to be about their analytical takes. And this one gal, she's been doing this for a while. She's like, 17-week sample size is really going to be tough to prove truly representative of anything. I was like, girl, you preaching to the motherfucking choir. So I'm up here so I can bring this shit out there. Not really, I'm here for a job, but I'm just saying I'm becoming a more well-rounded individual. So hopefully that helps us all. Brisker or Snead and Logan Wilson or Hicks? Okay, I'm going to start one more time. Brisker or Snead? Brisker. Second question and the same question. Logan Wilson, Hicks, or Lloyd? I'm still going with Logan Wilson. That's from Lumber 93. Marco says, should I drop David Long from the Titans for Anzalone in Dynasty? I mean, yeah, if you want to win this year, I probably would. David Long has been just everything about the Titans has been disappointing. I won't pinpoint anybody. There's no one except for Kevin Byard. He's a beast. And then Rashad Weaver has been kind of coming on strong, but those aren't the kind of guys that get attention on football teams. Kevin Byard does sometimes, but that's only because his PFF grades back up that he's actually good. He's actually been good for a long time. Derek Tickle says, is Pete Werner taking tackle opportunities away from Demario Davis? I feel weird even trying to pretend to know the answer to that, my guy. I'm sorry. Should I pivot away from Demario for Josie Jewell or Perryman if he's back? That question I feel comfortable answering, and I would not. I would just stick with Demario Davis personally. Even though Pete Werner seems to be a busy boy, Demario Davis has a lot of upside as a football player. And he gets a good game, the weird game. They get the London game this week. So they get Kirk Cousins in London. Those games end up being weird. Get yourself some action in that game. Demario Davis, you could do a lot worse on either side of the ball for that game. You hear this? You hear this? It's still trying to work itself out, y'all. This is crazy. And now my scroll bar is not working. Okay, I see something. Brandon Jones, Richie Grant, or Cam Curl. Yeah, I'm probably still going to stick with Brandon Jones personally. Cam Curl came back last week. He immediately kind of took back over his role as a primary starter. Didn't play 100% of snaps. I forget exactly what it was. I think it was in the high 80s, which is, still a good number to play. Not the best, but good. It's not going to sink your team from a snap share percentage process, but I'm probably still going to stay with Brandon Jones personally. Okay. Oh no. But if you had DeMarcus Lawrence, you were jumping up and down. Yeah, Donovan Wilson had 1 sack and almost had a second. Yeah, Donovan Wilson, before Jerron Curse was the guy, he was kind of the guy. And seems like Curse is back though, apparently. So if you did stream him in, good on you. If you have like a dynasty team, which you may have, that was good. Yeah, DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, literally, this is how. Like when I saw DeMarcus Lawrence like make one of his first big plays, I was like, "Who is that?" That's how much DeMarcus Lawrence like doesn't show up really, and that's unfortunate because he did have a great game. You know what I'm saying? But just I wouldn't expect him to be doing things like that on a regular basis. Just like I wouldn't expect Micah Parsons to not be doing things like that on a regular basis. Buckner or Henderson, definitely, or Hendrickson, definitely Hendrickson. Buckner is not, his upside is just not what I want it to be, or anybody wants it to be. Anthony Ballister, you owe it to yourself too. Keep up the grind. Yeah, I mean, I know to myself, I owe it to y'all. I mean, it's only week 4. You know, if it was week like 13, I might be like, man, they can figure it out themselves or throw me a DM. But it's week 4. Like, we're out here fighting. You know, this is the IDP army. Like, this is aggressive. Like, we want to win. You know, if you lost last week's battle, you want to win this week's battle more. I want to come help you do that as best I can. So yeah, I feel responsible. I am responsible. I mean, no one's gonna tell me I have to do this. No one's gonna tell me I don't have to do this. We're a completely independent YouTube channel, company, brand, whatever you want to call it. I'm doing this for y'all. And you can do me a big favor, throw me a super chat or join the Patreon. That'd be cool. But it's not necessary. But it'd be awesome. All right. Window wash RXXX dad. Better Cleveland athlete in the history ranks. I gotta scroll down. And it's frozen. Carlos Dansby or Alonzo Gee? I'm gonna leave that to the folks in the comment section because I'm not well versed in the historical significance of Cleveland athletes, Carlos Dansby or Alonzo Gee. You know, Alonzo, I don't know many Alonzos. I know an Almanzo, Almanzo Wilder, husband of Laura Ingalls Wilder. But Alonzo, there's Anzalone. I don't know. All right. Michael Pickle says Dorrance Armstrong versus Washington or Chandler Jones versus Denver at DL. I'm still playing Chandler Jones. This is the thing with Chandler Jones. He's like, he'll have 4 weeks where he does almost nothing for you. He'll get you 5, 6, 7, 8 points. And then he'll have a week, 2 or 3 weeks a season where he'll score 40, 35, 40 points. You don't want him on your bench when that happens because when you don't want him on your – and that was a risk when you put him on your team. I mean, you don't want him on your bench when that happens because that's why you drafted him, for those games, not for the ones he's been having. You drafted him for those games. So if the crappy games are already in the rearview mirror, what does that mean? I don't know. Maybe there's more crappy games coming, or maybe he's got some positive regression coming his way, to borrow a phrase from my analytical homies. So let's see if I can scroll down now. Oh my gosh, my screen. Okay, here we go. Andy coming in again says Michael Walker, Zaven Collins, or Grugier Hill. Have to start one with Roquan and TJ Edwards. I like Michael Walker. I've really been coming around on him a lot. I think he's in a good role. I like that he's a rookie and he's kind of been able to really just, make a difference. Zaven Collins would be my second, and then Grugier Hill third. The only reason I wouldn't just plug and play Grugier Hill is because you're kind of, he and Kirksey are probably going to go back and forth, whereas you kind of know Zaven Collins is going to be the primary guy. I like that. Michael Walker is sharing time with Rashawn Evans, so maybe Zaven Collins is the smarter choice. But I like Michael Walker right now, so I'd probably play him. All right. One take Jake says choose two: Julian Love, Von Bell, Logan Wilson, or Derek Forrest. Yeah, Derek Forrest. I would pull him off your list now. With Cam Curl coming back, he saw his snaps dip pretty significantly. I don't think he's completely trashed. I don't think he's dead. I don't think his season's over by any stretch of the imagination yet. But I'm not starting him right now. That being said, Logan Wilson is 100% going to be in my lineup, and I like Von Bell a lot. But just to maybe check my rankings on idparmy.com. I'll probably have Von Bell higher, and I think that's probably the play. One take Jake. So I'll roll Logan Wilson, Von Bell. All right. Michael Charles says pick 4: Wagner, Luvu, Holcomb, Barton, CJ Mosley, or Anzalone. CJ Mosley is definitely 100% going in the lineup. Wagner's 100% going in the lineup. Luvu's 100% going in the lineup. So there's 3 right there. And then I'm a Cole Holcomb guy. So I'm going to throw Holcomb out there. That's not shading. This is not an indictment. Cody Barton or Alex Anzalone, this is just what I would do. These are guys I want to watch play. These are guys that I have a vested interest in, perhaps, maybe. Check my rankings. I want them to do good. Daniel Hunter or Hendrickson? I'm going to go Hunter here. I don't know my rankings on site. I need to go back and check them. I've only done 1 draft this week so far. I don't know if that's going to be reflected there. But Daniel Hunter is higher floor, higher upside than Hendrickson. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with him. I love Hendrickson. Just he doesn't do as much statistically on the field. I'm sure his pressures are amazing as Danielle Hunter from the points. Danielle Hunter throws his arms up. He bats balls. He forces fumbles. He makes a lot of tackles for loss. Makes a lot of just tackles in general. He's had seasons well over 65 tackles. I think he's been into the 70s 2 or 3 times. Trey Hendrickson is lucky to hit like 40 tackles a season. He compensates for that by getting like 25 quarterback hits, which are the same score. And IDP 1, 2, 3 scoring is an assisted tackle. So you could kind of, do a little mental math there, some gymnastics, and see, okay, well, he still does well, but he's not doing it the way and with as much. He doesn't have as many outs as Danielle Hunter has. So give me Hunter. Infinite possibilities. Got a pretty big question here. I'm in a 16-team, 53-man roster IDP Dynasty League with 2 flex on offense and on defense. I traded Asante Samuel and Ashton Davis for David Ogunjobi. I'm assuming that's David Ogunjobi. My linebackers are Luvu and Warner. And Luvu, Warner, and Davis Gaither. Did I do bad? Honestly, I don't know. That big. You would really have to look at your whole team and roster construction to have a better idea of values, and it's definitely going to be dependent on the rest of your team's roster makeup. So I don't feel comfortable saying you did good or bad. I don't like to look at trades like that though. Like in a vacuum, yeah, there's players worth more than that player, but we're not in a vacuum. Each fantasy football league is an ecosystem of predators, prey, and scavengers. Okay, you're one of those 3 things if you're in your league. That's what it is. And you just got to do what you got to do. And there's going to be different apex predators in different leagues. There's going to be different people who have different play styles, roster constructions, etc. All that stuff goes into how you would value a single player to a single person. So when it comes to trades, I don't like to arbitrarily say you won or you lost. I like to look more at your overall team and see how your team is doing and see if it's a winning team or not. Does that make sense? Anthony Ballister, congrats on 2K subs. Yeah, appreciate that, Anthony. 2K subs is not easy to do. Hope they don't take us down. That would be really, really hurtful. But yeah, I appreciate it, man. It's been a fun journey, long, hard journey. I don't want to downplay it too much. It's been a long, hard journey to get here, y'all. Nobody retweeted our channel or me into relevance. I'll just put it that way. We fucking earned every one of you motherfuckers out there. And I'm proud. I'll say that to your fucking face. I know it's true, and you know it's true too. So I know you ain't going nowhere. Because you wouldn't have been here in the first place. Because no one told you to come here. No one said, hey, I have clout. You should do what I say. That didn't happen over here. All right. Final Fablas says, start 3 between Jordan Brooks, Devondre Campbell, Logan Wilson, Antoine Winfield, and Minka Fitzpatrick. Ooh, that's a fun little group of guys. 10 PPR, 10 team PPR, so IDP isn't super point heavy. No pass deflections, tackles for loss. Ooh, okay, that's very relevant information. Mainly just tackles, sacks, and interceptions are 4. All right, well, with that information, you're going to pull out Minka Fitzpatrick. You're going to pull out Antoine Winfield. You're going to stick to your linebackers in this situation. Because if pass deflections don't get scored, I mean, guys that are deep down the field, that's what their primary job is. Like, they want to stop the player that they're guarding from getting the ball. If he gets it, they tackle and they get the points. But if they actually do their job appropriately, aka defend the pass, they're not getting scored for that. That sucks, man. So tell your league mates to fix that, and just stick with probably Jordan Brooks. You know, I mean, that's probably your best bet. Just go for the tackles. Devondre Campbell is a disruptive guy. Logan Wilson's disruptive, but you're not going to get a lot of points for their disruption. All you're going to get points for is just your basic bread and butter tackles. Then go with a bread and butter linebacker. Jordan Brooks is that guy. Kevin Vasquez says, stuck on the fence on dropping Antoine Winfield and rolling the dice with, sorry, I can't see. It looks like I can't see it yet. I'm sorry, man. Travarius Ward. I would stick with Winfield. What's up with Travarius Ward? I've actually heard his name's been coming up a little bit just in just around. You know, I'm kind of not really sure what or why that is. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. But I'm still sticking with Antoine. With what you just said about Hendrickson, does he have the same value as Myles Garrett? See, this is another fantasy thing. Like, point for point, they're really freaking close, okay? But if you go to some nameless, faceless person and you say, here, I'll trade you player X who puts up 17 points a week, or I'll trade you player Y who puts up 18 points a week, they're going to take the 18 points, right? But if you just go up to them and say, here's Myles Garrett, here's Trey Hendrickson, it doesn't matter about the points. There's there's brand recognition. There's individual player brand recognition and equity that takes place in actual NFL and on fantasy, you know? Like, think about the Saints. You know, a guy who has really high brand equity on the Saints, Cameron Jordan. People know Cameron Jordan. His name means something. That's because of his play, but that's because of his personality, who he is, what he does. So he's always going to have more value just in a general selling. He's going to be easier to sell, more liquid, if we were to take a market word, because people know who he is and what they're going to get. Even if they don't really know what they're going to get, they think they know what they're going to get because they know who Cameron Jordan is. Whereas if I say, hey, you want Emmanuel Ogbah? 70% of NFL fans, fantasy people, 90% of fantasy people be like, who's that? Who's Emmanuel Ogbah? Emmanuel Ogbah doesn't have any brand equity. Now, if Emmanuel Ogbah, I don't know, got on his IG Live tonight after the game and they won and was at a strip club, then his brand equity goes up because people know who he is. You know what I'm saying? So there are so many variables that go into fantasy football that aren't just player X did Y and C happened. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much more that goes into it. So to go back to your question with that long-winded response, no, Myles Garrett is always going to be worth infinitely more than Trey Hendrickson. Doesn't matter what Trey Hendrickson does. And that's just reality. You know what I mean? It's just reality. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is. And thank you. Hey, welcome. All right, Infinite Possibilities. I like when people come into your chat on some BS and you can tell them a nice to go to another channel and get the hell out. Ecosystem. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. If people want to come in here and flame, I mean, I don't give a fuck. I mean, do whatever you want to do with your time. It literally doesn't do anything to me. You know what I mean? Like I said, no one's fucking, there was no helping hand. Okay. We fought every fucking step of this fight. Some little motherfucker, making some fake account, talking some dumb shit. That's cool. I mean, that's great. If that makes you feel good about yourself, keep doing it. I guess I'll mute you, but fucking throw blows. I don't care. Whatever. With you, we are apex predators over here. Thanks for the advice, bro. Yeah. I mean, again, I think you'll hear certain guys in the fantasy space call it an economy. It's not an economy. Okay. They want to sound smart. I know the Podfather did a video or something about your portfolio, blah, blah. That is corny. Him saying it was corny too, because he says that shit himself, but it's corny. But ecosystem, the ecological, I want to write an actual article about this, because you're not just playing players. Like, your league is also the people you're in it with. So there aren't just archetypes for players, like a third round high upside running back. There's archetypes for people in your leagues. The asshole who doesn't do trades, the guy who's always on the waivers. There's the guy that is always sending trade offers. There's the guy in your league that literally won't do anything, and he's got 3 championships, and you won't hear from him for 6 months, and then he'll do a blockbuster trade. I have actual words for that. I have actual, I've written all this out. I have all kinds of information everywhere. But there's a way that I view my leagues, and I view them as ecosystems. Like I said, you're predators, you're prey, or you're scavengers. The funny thing about scavengers is they think they're predators. The funny thing about prey is they think they're predators. It's funny, but there are ways that I categorize how people act and interact in a league to put them into these things. And when you can define people in your leagues, you can see your competition is. And not just looking at their team, looking at them, how they play, how they're going to get where they're going. So I think it's a really fun way to look at your leagues. It gives me a little bit of an edge. And again, it just tells me who I should be looking out for and who I shouldn't. Just helps me categorize things. So yeah, appreciate the shout though. Infinite Possibilities. I don't recognize your name around here. Thanks for coming through. I mean, were you here last week or week before? We appreciate you. Everybody who's here, make sure you throw us a little like, sub the channel. I don't have anything in the description of this video because my computer's fucked. I don't have a thumbnail done yet. Hopefully I can get all that stuff kind of done post-production. But yeah, hit me with if y'all have a few more questions, throw them in here. I've reached the bottom of my chat per my chat. I don't know if that's a real thing or not. Because my screen has literally just been frozen like 80% of this time. I almost want to take a picture of it and post it. That's what I'm going to do, because there are people watching and y'all are probably like, man, this guy's bullshit. I'm going to take a picture of my screen for you guys just so you can see what I've been looking at here. I'll post it on Twitter. I think I can post stuff like that on the YouTube channel too. I don't ever post anything on our YouTube channel though, like words wise. I swear if you act like you're doing something right now, I'm gonna be so mad. All right, y'all. I'll keep sitting here for another couple of minutes. I'm gonna post this picture just so y'all can see. I'm on Twitter at 50 Shades of Drunk if you want to go look at it. Hey, Infinite Possibilities says, let me encourage you to write the article. I won a Super Bowl because of you last year. Shit, bro. That's what we talking about. Let's get litty. Stack those W's. Stream, screen. 40 minutes in. Yeah, writing is something where I love the ecosystem breakdown. Hey, I appreciate it. And listen and watch, because fantasy space is a lot of appropriation. So it wouldn't surprise me if you heard something like that pop up in the next few months from somebody somewhere. But just remember that archetype, that concept started right here. That's why I haven't honestly said it much, because I'm afraid people are going to bite it, because it is really good. And I know that because I've written it down and written it out. And it's good shit. Okay. Screen, 40 minutes in. LOL. Sometimes you just got to go with it. All right. What are your thoughts on Lewis Seen and Roger McCreary? Yeah, Seen, I mean, they're probably stash guys right now. I'm not putting them in my starting lineup right now. All right. We got one from Adrian McFadden. He says, non-PPR. First off, why? He says, Waddle over St. Brown. I mean, in non-PPR, it's like so hard for my brain to even reconcile like how players can help you. I'm gonna go St. Brown just because it's more of a funnel there, I guess. So maybe the touchdown comes to him more likely. I'm sure someone out there's got a heat chart showing you that that's wrong, but Richie Grant or Xavier Woods. I'm probably gonna stick with Woods. I've been playing a lot of those box snaps. Jeremy Chin, not. I don't want to say not like he's not doing, just not. How do I say this? He's not like a difference-making fantasy defensive back right now. What does that mean? That means the other guys around him, Xavier Woods, somebody like that's probably in similar on par. So yeah, I like him more than Richie Grant right now, probably. But again, like I haven't really dug into Richie Grant a whole lot. So if you know something I don't know, Andy, this is sharing information is what friends do, right? Sachin, hey, what's up, Sachin Bandari? How you doing, man? Good to see you tonight. Should I drop Christian Kirksey for Zaven Collins? Because Kirksey has a bye in week 6. Ooh, bye week's coming up, man. Y'all season's just clicking by. Man, wild stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. If you're already looking ahead like that, and Collins is out there, I don't hate it. If you think that there's a chance he disappears off waivers too, I'll go get him now. So I'm into that, Sasha. Andy says, I also stack Buda Baker and Jalen Thompson and has been so solid. Yeah, it's something that has finally come around this last year. I did it 3 years ago, and one of the best years I ever had. I triple stacked Alex Smith. Okay, this is pre-Patrick Mahomes. Alex Smith, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. And I was this close to putting Kareem Hunt on that same team. All those guys finished like one at their positions that year, which nobody says it's impossible. Things like that happen on defense too. You have edge rushers, both finish top. Cam Hayward, T.J. Watt. You have defensive backs, Buda Baker, and even when Tyrann Mathieu was there, they both had pretty good seasons. When Tyrann Mathieu was in Houston, he and Justin Reed had a really good year. Justin Reed now with the Chiefs. Von Bell and Jesse Bates last year and the year before have had good seasons. Before Von Bell was there, Sean Williams and Jesse Bates, so tandems like that can be good. I'm glad you're doing it. I'm glad it's working out for you. And you started early in the season too, so it's not like you have anxiety about it. Like you feel comfortable doing that. I think there's something to be said about that as well psychologically. I said this a couple of weeks ago on the show. After I drafted Curtis Samuel in a lot of leagues, just because I've always been a Curtis Samuel guy, and he's like was free, literally didn't cost anything. I put him on my teams. Well, it blows up week 1. I put him in all my lineups week 2. Why? Even if I thought I had a better player, it's because I wanted to acclimate myself to seeing Curtis Samuel in my starting lineup. And if he's going to keep being good, I would much rather him keep being good in my lineup than on my bench as a value that I can, post on Twitter about how smart I am. Look at who I got. No, fuck who I got. Who you playing? Are you winning? What's going on? Are you making those tough decisions? Are you making them soon enough to be equitable for your whole season? So I dropped Curtis Samuel in all my lineups after the first week, and I'm just sitting on it. I'm saying, just sitting pretty. So kudos to you for playing Baker and Jalen Thompson both, kind of just getting acclimated to what that feels like, looks like in your lineup, and just understanding that it can be and is a good decision. Ken Vasquez says, I have Bobby Wags, Jordan Hicks, and Michael Walker. Can only play 2. 1-point tackle, 3-point sack, 2-point TFL, 1-point pass defended, and half-point assisted tackle. I'd probably go Wags. Still stick with B Wags. Well, yeah, I'll probably go Wags. I like Jordan Hicks as well here, but I'm probably gonna go with Wagner. Just, you have such a resume of success, longevity, efficiency. Oh, God forbid a player be efficient, but year over year, it's because of the scheme. So I think about your scheme. Bengals line gonna hold up tonight? Fuck no. They're gonna get wrecked. Like, they're gonna get wrecked. On the fence about starting Melvin. I mean, I picked him up. I'm playing him in some spots because he was out on waivers. I mean, Big Mel, he's sitting out there. He won AFC Defensive Player of the Month. I barely caught that he signed with Miami. He's Defensive Player of the Month. I mean, he feels that. If you follow him on social media, he walking around chest puffed out. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's ready to get at Burrow tonight. He wants to keep that shit rolling. So I would probably start him. And like I said, the Bengals line is it's trash. I mean, it's like somebody it's not good. It's just not good. Burrow is good. While a lot of players on that team are good, that line is just not good. There's nothing else I can say about it. And he's not playing the Jets pass rushers this week, okay? Don't get it fucking twisted, okay? Everybody gassed up, old Carl Lawson, blah, Quinn Williams and all this. Like, great. Good names on paper, good draft equity. Everybody looks good. Everybody's feeling good. New York media, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, they didn't really do shit to Burrow. Now, but this Miami defense is not that defense, okay? Just remember that. This Miami defense is not that. This is Melvin Ingram. This is Emmanuel Ogbah. This is Jalen Phillips. This is Brandon Jones. This is Jerome Baker. This is Javon Holland. This is Xavier Woods. This is not Xavier Woods, Xavier Howard. I mean, these are dogs, all right? These are dogs that have been put together over the past 4 or 5 years to build an incredible unit, all right? Granted, Solid's put together a decent little unit up there, but I mean, it's 2 years old. It's fresh, okay? It's just not what this is. All right. Petrie, Hufanga, Chin start 1, and then Luvu, Warner, Ward. Warner start 1. I'm starting Hufanga. You have to start Hufanga. He's been a beast to start the season. And then between the other ones, I'm probably going to start Luvu or Lloyd. You guys know how I feel about Fred Warner. He's just one of those names, just like Jair Alexander or Aaron Donald. It's like, oh, there's a defensive player I know. I'll talk about him for 5 minutes, says every announcer in the booth. Every intern before the games. Okay, who are the 3 most well-known defensive players? I got to put their data in here real quick. Yeah, okay, that guy, good, perfect. Talking points. Okay, we got 2 defensive players in there. Great. Defensive players need their own fucking everything. Collective bargaining agreement, union, whatever you want to call it. Get them some love in the media. I can't wait for Cam Jordan. I mean, he's already doing media stuff, but he's going to be good for the defensive people. Y'all need to holler at him. Tell him to come on the IDP Army. Say, bro, you'd be good on a defensive fantasy show. Just chirp in their ears a little bit, People will tell you, too. People will tell you one man, one voice won't make a difference. You can make a difference, friend. Just keep chirping. They want you to shut up. That's why they say stuff like that. Don't do it. Same thing with fantasy pros. Say, hey, you guys best friends with Sleeper, our boy Jordan Rains, IDP 123. How about y'all show the man some love? How about y'all give him a little kickback? What's up with them royalties? You know what I'm saying? Someone get me a fucking lawyer. Dynasty League. Who wins? A Leonard Fournette or Kenneth Walker trade? The Kenneth Walker trade. Leonard Fournette. Whoa. Sorry. In my head, I read that as Darius Leonard. Team already has CMC, Damian Pierce, Stevenson. Only need one RB at the rest of the spots and flex fifth wide receiver. I'm definitely gonna. I mean, I don't know if it's Dynasty. Okay, if it's Dynasty, you have. I play Dynasty different than a lot of people. I'm always in win now mode. I actually just renamed my Dynasty rankings, which this is another thing. Bookmark this, somebody. Win now Dynasty rankings. That's what I call them. That's how mine are set up. Win now Dynasty rankings. That's going to be a thing in the next year or two. Just watch. But anyway, Fournette. Richie Grant starts at SS for the Falcons. Didn't start last year and plays a good amount of snaps. Okay. Yeah, I kind of had him mixed up with the guy for the Jaguars there for a second. Good amount of snaps. Has he made a big impact, though? Has he made a really big difference? I'll be honest, I've only watched like 20 snaps of Falcons football this year. Don't have any players on my teams from them, except for Drake London. Just not really interested in the Falcons. I've heard a lot of good things about Michael Walker. Mariota's looking good. Drake London's looking good. Kyle Pitts looks like Kyle Pitts. Replacement level tight end for fantasy, as he's always been. People in earnest sat here for months and said to you, Kyle Pitts is worth as much and sometimes even more than Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews. As of this moment, Kyle Pitts is averaging 7.2 half PPR points per game. Mark Andrews tripling that with almost 22. And Travis Kelce is averaging like 19 points a game. So I didn't say that shit. I'll tell you that right now. Everybody's out here self-flagellating, accountability posts, blah, blah, blah. They won't say a fucking word about Kyle Pitts. Oh, I missed on a popular player everyone missed on. I hope I can learn more in the future. Nah, get out of here with that. I'm not about it. Seeing what I can do for Dynasty, but has done good for tackles thus far. So that's on Richie Grant. Yeah, I mean, he's young too. So in Dynasty, I mean, players like that who haven't really broken out yet with their impact plays, with their big games, game-winning plays, just, meaningful defensive plays, not tackles. Good time to go get a hold of those players, acquire those players. All right, Jay Dunn says, hey, Jordan, I'm a little worried about playing Trey Hendrickson and Logan Wilson against the Dolphins tonight. I have Okreki, Rodrigo. Let's call him Rodrigo. Rodriguez as linebacker on the bench, and then Shoyinka and Jordan Phillips at DL. I would still play Logan Wilson, and I would still play Hendrickson. Why are you worried? May I ask? Are we overly concerned with like Tua's protection? I mean, he didn't look very well protected last week. Oh wow, questions are coming up. That's cool. Lucky you, haha. I got Patterson, London, Pitts, Grant, and Walker. Yeah, somehow 3-0, he says. I mean, flex. I mean, if I had Kyle Pitts and I was 3-0, I would flex. I'd be like, I don't even fucking need a tight end. I would say things like this. I would say, I'm 3-0 in this league, and I threw away my third-round pick because you fucking bums aren't that good. That's the kind of shit you got to tell people, Andy. You got to say, I took one for the team. I wanted you guys to have a chance to maybe good. That's how you shit talk. All right, y'all. I'm honestly 54 minutes. I can't believe it. We're almost on an hour. We still have, a dozen-ish people in here. Thank you to each and every one of you who has come through here. I appreciate it a lot. Like I said, if you want to support the IDP Army, the easiest way to do that is leave us a thumbs up and a 5-star rating and review if you listen to the podcast. second easiest way is to give us money. And you can do that by going to Patreon. You can do that by joining a YouTube membership. You can super chat us. Got a little tip jar on my YouTube, on my Twitter handle. You can do that. You don't have to. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be here either way. But we can do bigger, better things and more. You know, with that financial leverage. So if y'all want to keep seeing IDP levering up, making a difference, trust me, your funds will go to the appropriate places and won't just slide in my pocket. Eventually, someday, funds will just slide in my pocket, but there needs to be a lot more funds coming in for that. So in the meantime, show love, show support. Do me a favor, tell somebody about the show. And yeah, we'll be back. Okay, I'm still in Detroit. I'll be on, I guess, Sunday morning. I really hope the internet is better on Sunday morning. I might go to no, I won't, because I have to do training on Sunday morning, y'all. So it'll probably be Bomber, Mace, Billy, Joe, Josh. It'll be some combination of everybody in the IDP Army except for myself, unfortunately. And that really hurts because I love y'all. Sunday mornings are like my jam, but gotta do what I gotta do. So yeah, I guess I'm out. I'm gonna go ahead and just end the broadcast. I would normally run the music, but it's still running on my screen. So appreciate everybody who came through. Andy, Dan, Limit Possibilities. I mean, everybody, there's all kinds of people. I appreciate each and every one of you guys and gals. IDP, baby. And the P is for positivity. Stay woke. In broadcast. Do something. This has been a wild recording. An absolutely wild recording. Okay. In broadcast.